We're back on Morning Mover. Shares of Alibaba hit new 52-week highs on Tuesday ahead of its earnings report. The Chinese e-commerce giant expected to report adjusted EPS of 308 on revenue of $38.19 billion. Catalysts include Beijing's push to restore trust in Chinese tech and Alibaba's recent partnership with Apple to bring Apple Intelligence to China. Keep in mind, shares of Alibaba are up about 50% so far this year. With that, it's time now for Options Corner. Joining us to take a deeper look at Alibaba is Kevin Green, senior markets correspondent here on the network. Kevin, we have you busy this morning. All right, let's talk about this Alibaba chart and what the trends you're paying attention to, especially when you take in the context of it seems like Alibaba and Jack Ma basically friendly with the government again over there.
Yeah, definitely. And being busy is good, especially when you're looking at a stock like this. I mean, this has been something that investors have had on the radar for a very long time. And unfortunately, we've had a lot of false breakouts to the upside here. Now, if we're looking at a one-year daily chart for Alibaba, we can see that the stock really does like to consolidate for around a 2 or 3 month period before actually getting a little bit of enthusiasm and pushing to the upside. We see that several times occurring last year where we have a consolidation, a range between around $15 to $20, and then a breakout to the upside, trying to test that 200-day moving average before failing or utilizing it as a area of support here. We had another breakout going into October where we hit around $120, pretty close, $118. But then we saw this kind of massive and very swift reversal back to the downside. Once again, coming back down, hitting that 200-day moving average, utilizing it as an area of support. We did see a brief breakdown at the start of this year around January 10th. And now we are seeing that full-on breakout, breaking above $118. Now it's trading at around $129 and some change. And now what are we looking for right now when it comes to the price action? If you kind of look at this Fibonacci retracement, which I completed here, which is taking the October highs, the previous highs at around 118, and taking the January 13th lows, we could see that maybe we have a little bit of a test back of that 118, check back, make sure that some buyers are really willing to step in, fill out that volume profile, and have buyers once again kind of create and keep the momentum to the upside, which you could look at that 1.618% retracement, or 161.8% retracement level to the upside of around $140 before maybe we see a massive amount of selling pressure taking place. If not, and we do kind of break down and we have the same type of scenario that we've seen in the past, last two tries, we've had these V tops, if you will, coming back down, testing that $99 level. That's going to be the 50% retracement level, and then trying to push higher. What you do not want to do is go and revisit the 200-day moving average. Once again, RSI is very extended in the overbought territory, as well as MACD, which the MACD line is kind of, when you're looking at both the moving averages, are kind of hitting very extreme levels right now. So this is something to keep your eye out on. But once again, this has been a stock that has been able to reverse fairly quickly here, Diane.
Yeah, you said you don't want to revisit that 200-day moving average on Alibaba. All right, that's the chart for Alibaba. Kevin Green, thanks a ton. We've got an example trade to take us through that. We've got Tom White, senior options contributor and co-host of Fast Market. So, Tom, in the context of how Alibaba has performed year to date, and then we've got earnings in front of us, how would you structure an example trade?
Well, implied volatility levels elevated going into this report. No surprise there after those nearly 50% gains that we've seen so far this year. Option market pricing in about a 7% move either way in the shares, just under $9 plus or minus on this. So I looked at a strategy that's kind of complex. It's 4 legs. It's 2 different strategies that are combined to make a neutral to bearish type stance here if you think this thing's going to pull back, because the RSI, as Kevin mentioned, overbought at 85 as of yesterday's close. Anything above the 70 levels considered overbought on a technical basis. But I want to give myself some room to the upside. So looked at a 4-legged spread where I'm going to buy a 1-week wide put calendar to the downside around that 118 level. Where that volume node is, where I'm going to buy the February 28th weekly options that expire in 9 days, the 118 put, sell that 118 put in the near term February 21st monthly options that expire in just a couple days. And to help finance that on the call side, in the February 21st monthly options that expire in a couple days, I'm going to sell a call vertical to the upside to help finance. I'm going to collect a credit on that part of it. So sell the 135 call, buy the 140 strike call, so a short $5 wide neutral to bearish call vertical. Now, as a package, these two strategies combined in this custom trade, you're going to collect a credit of about 30 cents. So that'll mean your break even goes up to 135.30 on the upside. Anything above there, you're going to start losing money on this trade. Now, it's a neutral strategy because the stock can still go up and you can still profit on this one, but you can see from the risk profile, the apex of profitability at or near that 118 strike, that's about that one standard deviation that the option market's pricing into the downside in Alibaba's shares. Now, because you collected a credit, even if it goes far below that 118 strike, starts to go back towards $100 or $90 a share, you're still going to get to keep that credit. So this is one of those complex trades that lets you take advantage of, hey, a move lower if it does pull back on earnings. But hey, even if it does go higher, you've got that cushion to the upside to that break even of 135.30. So complex trade here, taking advantage of higher implied volatility levels for a slightly neutral to bearish stance.
Slightly to neutral, a bearish stance on Alibaba, and I hope people were taking notes on that one. It was definitely very technical analysis. Thanks a ton, Tom, for that example trade on Alibaba.